team ban.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Rise of Legion Dota 2 July Finals, where we'll be watching two of the top two teams for this month, facing it out in the best of three to find out who will be walking away with the grand prize of the entire tournament. My name is Zero, and I'm your caster for today, and we will be witnessing NGID M11 from the country of Indonesia, facing up against Evo Esports, a mix of a Thai and Laotian team, so a pretty interesting demographic here for the side of Evo Esports. They will be facing against each other in a best of three finals, and the winners, of course, will be walking away with a chunk of the $1,000 US dollar prize pool. So this tournament is officially sponsored by Legion Lenovo. The total prize pool is once again 1,000 US dollars. First place will be getting 600 US dollars. Second place walking away with 250, and third will be finishing off with 150 US dollars. So we are already halfway through the draft here, as we can see already. Ember Spirit, Terblade, Necrophos, Batrider, as well as the Beastmaster being banned out here from NGID. While Evo Esports opting to ban out the Nature's Prophet, the Pangolier, Timbersaw, Troll Warlord, as well as the Phantom Lancer. First three picks as well, we have the Phoenix, Kunkka, and Rubik for the side of NGID, while Evo Esports still contemplating on their third pick, already picked up the Tiny and Mirana for themselves. So they are playing on the latest patch, the 7.27b patch, where a lot of heroes were changed, their inherent skills, some just got weaker, while a lot of other heroes have had a much needed boost towards their part. So I'm expecting to see a lot of these heroes more picked up here. Spectre will be the third pick from the side of Evo Esports. Not much change on that hero, funnily. A little bit of a nerf on his base regen, but he can now use his Axe ultimate on spell immune units. And you know, right now even the Haunt, the usage of Haunt, you can actually just switch between targets really quickly. And the first initial, the moment the illusions are spawned, or whenever you just press Haunt. Last time they used to just stare at the opponent for a second or so, but right now they just instantly attack. So a quality of life buff, I would say, for the Spectre herself, but nothing too major. The Desolate change is definitely a big factor in to say that Spectre has gained a lot from this patch. Desolate damage increased slightly, but the search radius has been reduced. So you have more chances of proccing the Desolate damage. So fantastic buff for himself. Faces Void seems like it will be the hero of choice, the carrier of choice for the side of MGID. Faces Void also receives some buffs. Time Walk Scepter AoE increased by 100 range, so it's up to 350 range at the moment. Talent, a little bit, some swaps here. Just the cast range, the Time Walk cast range has been moved to the level 15 talent, while the level 20 talent gets the Time Walk cooldown. So nothing too major, I would say, in terms of that change. It's just that he can't be as aggressive early on, thanks to the nerfs here.
10 seconds, Radiant team ban.
I'm really interested in the Phoenix and Kunkka though. There's just so much team fight from the side of NGID, or Night Gamers. As you can see from the flag, they are Night Gamers Indonesia. M11 Bet seems to be their sponsor, so let's just call them Night Gamers for now. It's much more smoother on the mouth, of course. Phoenix, some slight nerfs on the Fire Spirit mana cost, but then Supernova gets rescaled slightly. It is now stronger in the earlier levels, as well as the talents got a slight buff with the level 10 and 15 talent. Kunkka, Rubik, nothing to say about those two heroes. They were pretty solid even before the patch. Rubik did get a slight nerf in the base attack speed as well as the base attack speed, and gets a slight buff towards his base slight change. I'd say it wouldn't be a full nerf or buff, just a change on his attack damage spread. Fate Bolt now is a lot stronger late game, but a lot weaker early game. So it now reduces percentage base damage. So 34% at level 4 of the Fate Bolt. So imagine if you're hitting your Fate Bolt on a late game Terrorblade, he suddenly just deals 120 damage instead of what he was used to with the 200 damage. The range, the damage did get buffed as well as the mana cost decreased on the earlier levels. So just to compensate the lack of base damage reduction earlier on, because Rubik was just so strong previously in the laning phase, because he does a flat minus 25 if I'm not mistaken early on in the laning phase. So without that 25 damage, you have a tough time in laning. So just to compensate there, Ice Frog is more than happy to give him less mana cost on the early levels of Fable.
Radiant team pick.
One thing really interesting about Rubik in the latest patch is that on the level 15 talent, he actually steals damage through his Fate Bolt. So I don't know, I'm seeing some right click Rubik shenanigans very likely happening, especially in the late game stage when he gets the Fate Bolt cooldown. He can just keep having it uptime, having it online all the time. So as a support player, when you're a Rubik, you really want these small things to go your way. So can't wait to see something like that happening on the grand stage. But right now we're last to our last pick. For the side of Night Gamers, they've banned out the Death Prophet as well as the Pugna, so pretty afraid of the early aggressive stick as 5 lineups, not wanting the easy tower damage with the Beastmaster or the Death Prophet or even the Pugna. Evo Esports picks up the Skywrath Mage as the last pick, so we might see this mid Skywrath Mage, and Night Gamers picks up the Void Spirit as the last hero. So this is most likely a carry, a off lane, either an off lane or a carry. Void Spirit, Kel'Thuzad. For those who do not know, he was a former player from the side of RRQ when RRQ was one of the best teams in Indonesia. Right now he is playing. It's either the support. It's either the off lane or the carry. He is teamed up with a lot of new players. I believe 2 of them are pretty new towards the scene. So, 10
seconds remaining.
An old dog, bringing the young pups out for a stroll here. Evo Esports is the underdog in this matchup though. NG, ID, Night Gamers, they do have the slight advantage here. But we'll have to wait and see which of these 2 teams will be taking the first match of this best of 3 series. We just have to wait and find out, guys. This is the Rise of Legion Dota 2 July finals. My name is Zero, and we'll be watching the game start very shortly.
Wonderful.
Here we have it. Game 1. Game numero uno of this best of 3 series. On the Radiant side, we have 9K support playing the Phoenix. We have the Void Spirit played by Love in My Pocket. Kunkka is played by Dot. Faces Void played by Kel'Thuzad. And last but not least, Rubik is played by Crush. Meanwhile, on the dark side, we have Skyrath Mage played by Forever. Tiny is played by Desperate. Mirana is played by Jifude. No idea what that means. It's in Chinese, but has no apparent meaning to it. The Wyvern is played by Minalor. Last but not least, our favorite action movie, Jackie Chan. I'm kidding here. Bruce Lee will be playing the Spectre. So it's gonna be a Kuvenka off lane, played by Mr. Dot here, along with the Rubik helping him out there, facing a Spectre as well as a Winter Wyvern. He's not gonna be facing too much of a pressure here. Meanwhile, bottom lane we do have the Mirana going towards the mid. Skyrath Mage is going to be the position 4, it seems. And then we have the Tiny as the off lane, facing up against the Phoenix as well as the Faceless Void. So the Faceless Void is not gonna have a good time in this lane. There's just so much nuke potential. He does have the time walk to negate some or most of the damage, but he has to be careful whenever he's off cooldown. So mid lane is gonna be Love in My Pocket on the Void Spirit, and he's gonna be facing up against the Mirana. Void Spirit does have the upper hand in that lane, just because he has the better damage as well as just having the better attack animation, but he's going to be taking a lot of harass. Bounty runes goes 2 apiece to both teams. And we do have the Void Spirit queuing up the bottle already. By the way, we have seen this been the popular first item to pick up for a lot of these mid players. They want to control the runes earlier on. It does spawn in 4 minutes. Mid lane. Void Spirit already taking a lot of damage. He's pretty low. One more Starstorm actually might take him out if this double proc spawns on him. But he's gonna play pretty aggressively out in lane there. One last hit, gets the range creep just in time. And him and the Mirana is pretty neck and neck at the moment in terms of the laning. Bottom lane. Faceless Void, not having the best of time here. Once again, this Skyrath Mage is going to do a lot of damage. He does need to pick up his magic stick as soon as possible to help him, you know, survive in this lane. A lot of damage already done to this Phoenix, but it is only a level 1 Skyrath Mage at the moment. He did not go for the Arcade Blast, Arcade Bolt. Went for the concussive shot for some extra right clicks instead. Oh, mid lane dropping pretty low is the Void Spirit, but barely able to survive. Does pop the salve there, so that's going to keep him in lane for the moment. Does parry out another salve, or at least more regen it seems. And he's going to be a-okay top lane. Oh, Winter Wyvern dropping down quite low, but able to walk away from that. Kunkka is only level 2 at the moment. Not too afraid of dying so far. Meanwhile, we do see the bottom lane. Such a pesky Skyrath Mage here. Faceless Void is doing pretty well for himself. Not taking too much of a harass. He does still get plenty of levels here. Tiny did opt to go for 1 level in the tree grab, so that's going to help him in the denies. Skyrath Mage does snipe out the Phoenix's courier. Nope. Faceless Void has to be careful. Does use the time walk right away. Courier is going to send up the magic stick to him. Oh, not yet. That's not going to be magic stick. Just going to be some more regen. He needs that magic stick ASAP because there's just too much constant harassment coming from both of these two heroes. Oh, top lane, Winter Wyvern does drop towards the first blood. Rubik might pay with his life as the slow coming from the Spectral Dagger is enough to secure the Spectre with the return kill. 1 for 1. Probably the first blood did pay off for the Rubik, but Spectre is pretty happy to pick up that 150 gold going towards his way. Once they reach level 3 on this Skyrath Mage, they can get ready to lay a lot of damage. But Skyrath Mage, level 3, is he gonna make it in time? No, looks like the Phoenix actually dies. And Faceless Void jumps in aggressively, tries to use the time dilation to get in place for maybe a right click or two, but not enough. The Scarab Mage is a pretty fast boy there, and he managed to survive. Phoenix, overly aggressive, tried to get play for the kill, but did pay with his life in the end. Meanwhile, top lane, it is the Rubik falling once again. The amount of slows coming from the Spectral Dagger, as well as the Winter Wyvern, just proving too much there. It is 22% slow coupled with the 14%, so there's 40% slow. Bounty runes, the power rune spawn bottom is, oh, the Scarab Mage is very happy to see this rune. Saves it instead for the Mirana is the Void Spirit. They are baiting it, baiting it for the Void Spirit. He might pay for his life here. He does have a Remnant Pulse to survive one more right click. He actually gets the kill and does not die. Mirana does have the bottle and does have the regen rune as well, so he is able to sustain in lane, but when the Scarab Mage playing a little bit too greedily here. Rubik rotates in. That's throw a Fade Bolt in, but as you can see, the earlier levels of the Fade Bolt has been nerfed quite significantly. Oh, the Void Spirit dropping very low the damage. No mana for the Aether Remnant. There is a lift on the Rubik, but he was pretty much waiting for the Aether Remnant. Right now, he has to back up. Bounty Rune spawning in another 20 seconds. And the Void Spirit is happy to pick out the Bounty Rune for himself to refill the bottle. Bottom lane, we might see the Phoenix be in some trouble. He gets stunned up. The toss stun did on the Phoenix, as it's gonna be the Scarab Mage picking up that kill, as well as 2 bounty runes for themselves. The Radiant side does pick up 2 for themselves as well. A lot of damage done on towards this Kunkka. The Fate Bolt to dissuade any further aggression. And he's gonna be a-okay here. Void Spirit still in the lane, but not really dominating. We can see the Mirana, just because of the earlier, a lot of harassment coming from the Starstorm, has been able to get the upper hand in terms of last hit in the lane. But 2-4 in the scoreline, still too early. The Spectre, though, is having a fantastic time, barely being harassed here, as he's 30-1 in terms of last hits. It does have his power threads almost completed with the magic wand as well. He's gonna be a tough nut to crack when they want to try and get a gank on him. Soul Ring has been nerfed, so we don't see the Spectres picking up Soul Rings as often. Faces Void, not having a great time towards the bottom lane. 30 last hits so far, but he has just been forced to constantly buy regen here, and he might lose his courier once again because the Scarab Mage is there to intercept. Loses the Wraith Band, some more regen. The silence is out, and that might be one dead. Faces Void, down we go. But mid lane, Phoenix able to scurry alive, just scurry away, fly away in fact, after getting a kill on towards the Winter Wyvern. So nice movements across the map, but Faces Void death is pretty much worth it here for the side of Evo Esports. And he gets to refill his bottle too. Pretty well done here from the Dire side. It all boils down to actually this Kunkka rotation, because once he reaches level 6, we are expecting him to move across the map, use his ultimate whenever it's off cooldown to try and get the tempo in the favor of the Radiant side, as we do see 3 rotations towards the top lane. Kunkka almost level 7, that's probably what they're waiting for. Another level in the Tide Ringer is a lot of damage. It's a 25 extra damage that bypasses through armor. And I love these mini games, but no one else seems to be enjoying them, so let's just ignore it. We can take a look at items progression so far. We do have boots for most of the cores. Supports are still, of course, limping on their last legs. Wyvern actually got a pretty early boots here in 7 minutes. As you can see, the Phoenix not even close to the boots. That's the position 5. The Rubik, he started off with the boots, so he still has it now, of course. Didn't drop it, didn't sell it, of course. Winter Wyvern did pick up his boots pretty early on. The Scarab Mage, even despite him having 2 kills, he's saving up quite a bit of gold here. 900 gold. Not sure what he's going for. Maybe let's take a look at his queue. He's going straight for the Road of Atos. Not wanting to get any sort of mana regen. Does have to constantly just keep ferrying Oh, the Faceless Void, one more click. Oh no, the arrows did not connect as the Faceless Void able to sidestep it just in time. But mid lane, that's gonna be one dead Winter Wyvern. As he overstays his welcome, the Mirana was rotating. And they get a kill on towards the position 5 Winter Wyvern. Not the worst of kills to give away. They dodge a bullet on the Faceless Void, who just managed to have his time walk off cooldown. And he's able to farm another day. Actually goes towards the jungle to get a few creeps as well. Bounty runes about to spawn. Looks like the Radiant side controlling both of them. It's gonna be a top lane, top rune. Rupik is there to cover the rune for now, but the Mirana does have the TP coming in from the Winter Wyvern to re-steal his battle. So he's gonna be a-okay. Top lane tower being pressured here by the Kunkka. He's a pretty tanky boy there. Face boots already completed with the Bracer as well. He's able to play this aggressively as long as no one rotates, and he's pretty happy if anyone rotates, because that means there is less pressure on his Faceless Void. But here comes the combo, perfectly done there, as well as the rotation coming in from the Void Spirit, able to get a kill, and that will be most likely the tower going down as well. Pre-10 minutes, that's a pretty fast Tier 1 tower going down towards the side of the Radiant, so this Spectre will have less room to play with. But Kaltazard, poor old Kaltazard here, left to his own devices in this bottom lane, just constantly being harassed out there by this Tiny, as well as the Skyrim Mage, who hasn't been rotating. He has been getting kills on this Faceless Void, so nothing too much to say about that. The ganking potential not as strong from a Winter Wyvern, as well as the Skyrim Mage probably needs a Tiny to rotate with them, or they go with the Tiny. So they are just constantly pressuring the Faceless Void for now. You know, Faceless Void does have a harder time coming back. He doesn't have wave clear. He has to rely on just slowly last hitting. He does have a better teamfight ultimate than the Spectre though. But the Faceless Void, once again, does not recover well from a bad early lane. He has no wave clear, unlike the Spectre, who does have the Spectral Dagger, as well as a Dispersion, who helps him farm as well. As we are nearing the 10-minute mark, that's gonna be Kaltazard falling once again. Top lane going for the Spectre. Here comes the Moonlight Shadow though. The TPs are coming in. Do they have sentries? No, they do not. So that's gonna be a failed attempt. Still forced 2 TPs up towards the top lane. They could have maybe tried and go for the outpost, but decided against it. One tier 1 tower has fallen. Spectre Hunt towards the bottom lane, goes towards the Phoenix. So Spectre very happy to pick that gold up, I would say. He actually TPs straight towards this Kunkka. Luckily for him, Kunkka does not have to go ship, so it's just a delaying X mark, you know, just toying him for the moment mid lane. That's gonna be one dead Void with the Wyvern as he drops down pretty low. Double damage on this Void Spirit, and the burst damage coming from the Astral Step, as well as the rest of the arsenal from the Void Spirit, able to bring him down. Kaltazard, right now he does have his Chronosphere, wants to use this wagon timing on towards the mid lane to try and pressure this mid tower. He does have the 2 Wraith Bands, so that's gonna help him a little bit. Oh, going straight for the ultimate, but that's gonna be one dead Winter Wyvern, one dead Skyrim Mage. I'm sorry there, they look pretty much very similar, but nicely done there, not having to commit any big ultimates, just the Axe Mark, and gets the kill on towards the Skyrim Mage. Tier 1 tower is gonna go down. Spectre gets a little bit more farm, but right now things are still neck and neck between both of these teams. As the Tiny getting closer and closer to his Blink Dagger. Once he has that, he's gonna have a very easy time to try and hunt for this Faceless Void. Stun Toss combo does disable you for nearly 3 seconds. But that's plenty of time for the Skyrim Mage ultimate to drop down. Bottom lane, we do have the Supernova as well as the Axemark, so they look like they want to go for this fight here. Going straight for the Tiny. Perfectly comboed, and that's gonna be one there. Oh, here comes the Winter's Curse. The Tiny is gonna fall though. So is the Phoenix as he falls. The Void Spirit goes straight towards the Winter Wyvern, who has no more defensive skills. There is one more Chrono used on towards the Skyrim Mage. Skyrim Mage might fall for this. That's gonna be one dead Winter Wyvern as well as the Skyrim Mage. 3-for-1 trade-off so far. What a combination coming from the side of Night Gamers as they pick up 3 for themselves, only losing the Phoenix and they are happy to take that trade at any time of the day. Still, that was a Chronosphere used to take that fight, so that's gonna be 2 minutes without a huge team fight ultimate coming from the side of NGID. Yeah, that's gonna be a timing that Evo Esports is able to play with. They have pretty relatively short cooldowns. Mystic Flare, pretty short cooldown. Tiny has a pretty short low cooldown skills as well. Mirana is ready to fight anytime with the Wyvern. Winter's Curse doesn't have a really long cooldown. Only the Spectre does have the longest cooldown in the team, but he's pretty much happy to continue farming, get his next level items. He does have his hunt up and ready already, so it's going to be the Radiance queued up here for the Spectre. My oh my, once he gets that, it's gonna be pretty good timing for the Radiance as well. Not really contested so much. Bruce Lee has been having all these one-on-ones in the jungle. He's gonna be a-okay for now. Kunkka making his way toward a pipe, negates a lot of the damage coming from the side of the Dire. Most of the damage is magical coming from the side of Evo Esports, so nice item pickup there. In the late game scenario, I guess both teams have fantastic scaling options. So Spectre, fantastic late game. Tiny does fall off slightly, but with the axe he still can provide some damage in towards the late game. Mirana scales pretty well because he has pretty fast attack speed. Scarab Mage is the one that pretty much falls off the most. Meanwhile, on the Dire side, you know, the Faceless Void, any item is good items. Extra items is fantastic for him. Phoenix does do okay thanks to him having the Sunray. Void Spirit does fall off slightly, so does the Kunkka. But the Rubik is always great in a late game scenario, so here comes ATP coming in. They are trying to catch it. They're gonna catch off the Tiny. That's gonna be the initiation, but here comes the Spectre ultimate going straight for the Phoenix. Phoenix got off the Supernova in time, but the Mirana with the leap damage brings him down right away. The Rubik in trouble right now. Oh, huge 3-man Chronosphere. The Winter Wyvern is stuck inside. The toss him back. Oh, the Chronosphere though. The Winter's Curse able to bring off the Void Spirit. The X Mark just catches the Winter Wyvern. The Void is trying to pick off the Winter Wyvern, but it is the Kunkka dealing the last bit of damage. The stun toss not enough to bring down the Void for now, as it's down to a 3 vs 2. Spectre is still pretty healthy. The Tiny is caught out once again. Does he have a blink in time? No, he does not. He's gonna get slowed down. He's gonna die for sure. So that's gonna be a 3-4-3 trade-off, as the Tiny desperate to survive. Not enough. 3-4-3 trade-off after a huge 5-on-5 fight against both of these teams. And things were pretty close to each other. If you take a look at the goal as well as the XP, it was the side of NGID getting a slight advantage, but not too much. That's gonna be painful if it comes back to bite them in the long run.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Faceless Void, thank god he didn't fall. He actually got a few kills there. Pretty happy with his item going so far, going for a Manta style to try and counteract the silence coming in from the Skywrath Mage. Great to juke against the Tiny as well. You can just negate some of the stun damage throughout the invulnerability duration of the Manta style. And the attack speed on the Manta is always fantastic, always great, of course. Smoke attempt coming in from the Dire side. They look pretty desperate to take all these fights, but Kunkka pushing in forward. He does have the Axe Mark. Tiny wrapping from behind. Does he have an idea? Yes, he does. He spots him out. The stun, toss back. Oh, it might have miscalculated. Here comes the Ghost Ship though. That's gonna have to survive for a few more seconds. Spectral Horn is used, giving chase on towards the Phoenix. Is there a disable? No, there is not. The Phoenix is able to escape just in time. They only lose the Kunkka for this. Spectre flies in, didn't really help much, but got some AoE assist gold and is very close to his Radiance as well. Bottom tier 1 tower is gonna fall. as there is no Chronosphere for them to fight around. Evo Esports going to gain the first tower of the game for themselves, and it's gonna be the safe lane one. Faces Void almost to his Mantis style. That was a huge ultimate in the last engagement where he used it, caught 3 heroes. Didn't really have the damage to bring down anyone in time. Kunkka did provide a lot of damage, but still, he needs to skill into some damage items, or else he'll just be pretty much a support, a crowd controlling support, if he doesn't start dealing damage. Here comes a smoke from the Radiant side this time. They do have the Chronosphere up and running as well as a Supernova. So we haven't seen a efficient Supernova throughout this game, this 18 minutes. They're gonna walk into the Tiny. Tiny might break off the smoke, and there we go. Does he blink away? He does not blink away in time, and he's gonna get caught out. That's gonna be one dead Tiny once again. You see tanking up. Oh, here comes the Winter's Curse. Supernova as well as the Chrono is used for only one Winter Wyvern. So that's gonna be a huge boon for the Dire side. They're pretty much happy to pick that up, because that means 2 ultimates are down. Faces Void used his. So did the Phoenix. So theoretically, they can try and take a fight around this long cooldown on the Faces Void. But looks like they're respecting the 5-man coming from the side of Night Gamers, and they're gonna give up this top tier 2 tower, it seems. Spectre 600 away from his Radiance. Of course, do not want to set himself back any further. 20 minutes is almost up. The pipe has been completed by the Kunkka, so that has negated the damage slightly. But looks like they will manage to defend the top tier 2 in time, just by virtue of that being very tanky after the 7.27 buff. Extra armor, extra damage on the tower, and it stays alive for now, even having 4 heroes hitting on it. It stays alive. Not really healthy, but at least stays alive for the moment as we're nearing the 20-minute mark. It's time for those big items to come up. Clumsy net. Oh, fantastic item there for the Skyrim Mage. He's gonna pick that out right away, and he does have a roll of Atos as well, so plenty of disables on this little guy here. You don't want to call him a little guy. He looks like a pretty angry burb. Tiny making his way towards a BKB. That's gonna help him with the loads of disables coming in from the Radiant side. Especially this Void Spirit enables the Tiny to play a lot more aggressively. Able to blink in with the BKB, just constantly be in the middle, soaking up damage the best he can. He is not really that tanky at the moment compared to the Kunkka, but he does have plenty of disables. And the initiation factor, of course, with the blink dagger as well. If he can jump on the Phoenix or the Rubik, they have a very high chance to bring him down right away. But that heavily relies on the initiation. Top tier 2 tower going down for sure, but looks like Evo Esports is gonna be happy with trading the mid tier 1. Here comes the Moonlight Shadow. The tower does go down, and that's gonna be a ditch for a blink. Straight on towards the face of Void. Toss back. Oh, gets rooted up. Here comes the Ghost Ship. It's gonna catch out even to Wyvern. He still is caught out. The Rubik taking a lot of damage, but not enough. The pipe starting things out. Here comes the Supernova as well. They're trying to bring down the egg. The egg, one more click, and he goes down. The Faces Void does manage to survive for now. 3-man Chrono brings down into Wyvern. The Renata is up next. A lot of damage being done, and he brings him down. That's gonna be the Void Spirit picking up the kill. Silence on towards the Faces Void. Is he gonna survive? No, he is not. Double kill towards this Spectre, and they're not done yet, giving chase here. And Void Spirit does have an Astral Step in another 5 seconds. They're gonna slow him down with the Spectral Dagger, but he should be able to escape there. 2 for 3 trade-off here, going towards the way of Evo Esports. As they lose the Mirana, that's pretty bad, but the rest of the team fight, it was pretty well spread up. The Chronosphere did not manage to catch a good target with the Supernova. In fact, the egg was run down by the Tiny as well as the Spectre, and that gives this slight edge towards the way of Evo Esports. The Spectre is starting to get out of control there. The entire team fight, he barely took any damage. Was able to stay throughout the team fight, and That was all she wrote. Plenty of magical damage coming from the dispersion as well as the radiance. Despite having the pipe to negate some of it, it was ultimately not enough because it just adds up eventually when you just keep fighting under the dispersion as well as the radiance damage. Oh, the wyvern, he's dead. He has a glimmer cape, but he's stuck under a ward. That's going to be the Tiny trying to escape. Did manage to use a nice blink to get away, and they only managed to pick up the Winter Wyvern for their troubles. 5-man rotation towards the bottom lane. That's going to be the Spectre very happily continuing farming here, making his way towards a Manta style. Faceless Void already has a Manta style of his own. Picks up the Blitz Knuckles as well, and is going for the Silver Edge to try and deal with the Spectre dispersion. Is still a ways away from that, so he has to do his best for now. Wait for his next ultimate before taking a fight. The Void Spirit did complete his Ags, and 30 seconds before the Void ultimate is online, they will use a smoke. They do not have Ghost Ship yet, but the initiation is gonna come from this Void Spirit for now. Does have the Ags as well as the Use Scepter, double silence, as well as plenty of magical damage from the Void Spirit. The smoke not able to net anything here for the Radiant side, but they do have all ultimates up for now, so they are pretty happy with that. Spectre though, they do have to find some way to catch him in this jungle, or just pressure the tower and force him to come fight, because right now he's reaching level 20 on the Spectre. That's a huge talent with that 400 health. Makes him even harder to bring down. So that's what Night Gamers is gonna attempt here, trying to force them to come to his towers. Does use the glyph for the bottom tier 1, but it's gonna fall nonetheless. It's just a delaying tactic for now, as we do have the 4 Dire heroes from the side of Evo Esports smoked up, trying to go bottom. Spectre can come anytime. It's gonna be the Rubik breaking the smoke. He just gets caught out. Stun toss, avalanche or not enough, but the Mirana blinks in, leaps in with the BKB. Not managed to bring down anyone, but they do manage to catch up with the Wyvern with the Chronosphere. Supernova doing a lot of damage. No, actually pops just in time as the Mirana caught up in the stun lock. It's gonna fall. No way, Jose. You are not surviving from that. A Tiny blinks in, aggressively tries to help out his teammate, but he might pay with his life as there is detection, boys. There we go. Double kill towards the Void Spirit. 4 heroes down. The Spectre wisely deciding to back off, and what a huge team fight coming from the side of Night Gamers. That Chronosphere, despite only catching 1 hero, was enough, because that was the Winter Wyvern. Their lone counter initiation got stopped there and killed off by the Chronosphere. The Mirana leaped in with the BKB, did not manage to bring down anyone, and that was just 4,000 gold. That was your first BKB charge, and you pretty much had no impact on it. That's a pretty tough pill to swallow right now for the side of Evo Esports, as the first Roshan seems to be likely going towards the way of Night Gamers. Down to 1/3 of a health. Can they contest? Here comes the Spectre. He does have the Manta style, no heart or anything of the sort yet. Trying to go in, does not have the Manta style, gets slowed down. No, the Roche is gonna be so close. They're diving in. It's gonna be the Void Spirit trying to buy time. The arrow connects on the Faceless Void. Actually gets fall. The Roshan picked up there by the Spectre, and that's gonna be a disastrous moment right now for the side of Night Gamers as they lose the Faceless Void. They are running away with their lives. The buyback coming from the Winter Wyvern, giving chase on towards his Kunkka. The toss back. No, Tiny, what you doing there? Does have the toss. He's gonna toss him back. Yes, he is. Catches him just in time. The toss slows him down for the moment. The stun continuing by the Rubik to try and save his life. The Void Spirit, a very elusive hero, does have 1 more Astral Step trying to escape there. The Avalanche will not connect, and they're giving chase. The Simulate is off for another 3 seconds, but looks like Evo Esports is pretty happy with that entire engagement. They lose the Faceless Void, they lose the Roshan for what seems like it was their fight. If the Void Spirit did not just go out and try to buy time, I mean, he did just lack that little bit of damage. But, oh, feels bad there for the Faceless Void. Gets stunned by the Roshan, and then the arrow connects. What a series of unfortunate events there for Night Gamers, and that's gonna start spelling disaster here, because that just puts the Spectre even further forward. He can play a lot more aggressively now, now that he is halfway to his heart and does have the Aegis to back him up. Not to mention his ultimate is off cooldown. He's level 21. He's gonna be a very, very scary force to be reckoned with. Bottom lane for the Void Spirit did manage to pick off the Tiny, but can they get more Rubik lift on towards the Skyraft? Mage does have the roll of Atos, not gonna be enough. The Ghost Ship as well as the turret is gonna bring him down, and he has no escape here. Winter Wyvern trying to juke and jive, hiding in the trees, gets spotted out there by the Rubik. The Phoenix, oh, goes straight to the ultimate. He's gonna pay with his life though. Overly ambitious here. The arrow connects nicely on the Kunkka. The Kunkka is gonna fall. The lift on towards the Rubik, the Spectre Illusion. That's gonna be one that Kunkka, it seems. No, the Shadow Blade. They're still giving chase here. Kunkka quite low. The concussive shot is gonna connect. Chronosphere connects on towards the Winter Wyvern only. And arrow actually connects as well, but the Faceless Void is pretty healthy. The Spectre caught between 4 heroes. Oh no, does still have the Aegis. The Tiny coming in, trying to buy some time. The Avalanche gets stolen, but just going to be inevitable as the Rubik is gonna fall. The Spectre loses his Aegis. BKB is used. Faceless Void able to jump away. The Mirana down very low, and the Void Spirit able to kite away once again. Does have the Astral Step as well as the Dissimulate. Oh, but he might be out of his mind here right now. Does have another Astral Step in a second. Oh, they are still fighting. They want to fight this Spectre. He's more than happy to fight. He's almost full HP. Does have the Greater Fairy Fires to continue fighting. Spectre, no, he's stuck up in the trees. That's gonna be a dead Tiny. That's gonna be 4 heroes down. And they continue on towards the Spectre. No mana left on the Kunkka. The Void Spirit, not much mana left on him as well. But is there gonna be enough damage? The Spectre, the dispersion is doing so much. He's burning through. The Winter Wyvern is back. He has an ultimate. They have to watch out. This is gonna be a huge ultimate. They don't watch out. He catches out the Void Spirit. No, not enough. Winter Wyvern still in this. And the Shadow Blade keeps him alive. Oh no, the Winter's Curse catches the Faceless Void. But the Phoenix with the Sunray Hue keeps him alive for the moment. This fight has been going for so long, as everyone from the Dire side pretty much respawns, and they were still fighting. Oh, what a long sequence of events. 4-4-2 trade-off here. And they lose the Aegis as well for the Dire side. 4,000 net worth lead right now for Night Gamers. They're pretty happy with that. But this Spectre, once again, we talked about, you know, him being the unkillable beast, and it seems like he's living up to the name. Basher on the Spectre, so he wants to play aggressive. There has just been too much kiting coming from this Spectre, coming from the opponents. He's not happy with that. He wants to jump on a target, blow him up, and go for the next target and repeat. This Rubik with the Force Staff has been eluding him. The Phoenix, a very hard bird to catch as well, thanks to him having the Icarus dive. Oh, they catch out of Winter Wyvern once again. This is pretty bad. Can he survive? The Horn is used. The Atos did not connect. He does have one more Astral Step, but the silence is enough to pick him off. 80 seconds. That was a nice setup, a nice bait coming in from the Winter Wyvern, managing to pick off the Void Spirit. A very big kill. Look at that in terms of gold change. That was a 1,200 gold swing going towards the way of the Dire side, and that helps the Spectre get his next item even quicker. Top tier 1 tower seems to be the name of the game right now. Roshan is up in at least, at most 3 minutes. At least 3 minutes. It could be 6. We'll just have to wait and see. As the top lane, it's going to be pressure right now. They have no haunt, but they do have pretty much everything else on the Dire side. No defense coming in as they lose the Void Spirit.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Kunkka gets spotted out there, it seems, by a ward. They're circling him, sees him, tries to toss him out towards the high ground. The arrow connects, pops the pipe just in time. Here comes a huge Mystic Flare! And it burns him down right away! Too much damage coming from the Skywrath Mage on a single target. That's gonna be a bummer right now. For the Kunkka, they just seem to just keep getting picked off on these core initiating heroes. Spectre does have his Abyssal Blade already, and that's gonna help him stick to these targets. He wants to jump on this Rubik, he wants to jump on this Phoenix and kill him off right away, but oh, okay, so that's gonna be a nice Winter Wyvern's curse to catch him out. It only catches out 3 heroes, not enough damage to bring anyone down. Here comes the BKB pop, goes straight for the Phoenix Egg, brings him down. Road of Atos connects on towards the Void Spirit. Do they have the disables? Tosses him back towards the Spectre, gets silences up everyone and uses the Astral Step to get away. Huge team fight coming in from the side of Evo Esports as they pick up 3 heroes. Got 2 heroes in that fight, forced a Chronosphere, did not get any single kills, and that's gonna force Night Gamers to give out this mid tier 2 tower.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Mirana has completed the Mjolnir, so that's gonna be extra attack speed to help bring down the Phoenix Egg. Roshan up in minimum 20 seconds as the Spectre is gonna make his way towards the heart. Tiny item progressions has been pretty stuck so far, but he's making his way to the silver edge of his own. Maybe hoping to catch out the Kunkka or something else, but I don't know, Silver Edge doesn't seem to be the best item. But having the additional damage and attack speed, of course, fantastic for Tiny. Does have the Echo Saber as well, so after the 7.27 patch, the Echo Saber has just been such a great item. Oh, they picked off the Faceless Void, that's gonna be huge. The arrow. Looks like they used the arrow through the fog, connected on the Faceless Void, and just nuked him down right away. The damage coming from the Mirana, way too much. Just the physical right clicks is enough to bring him down. Bottom tier 2 will be the next target for the side of Evo Esports. The Spectre, he's at that point where he's not afraid of 2 or 3 heroes. He's waiting for that full 5-man, and he can just play so safely on this lane, but they're trying to go for him. Comes to Axe Mark, everything, and the kitchen sink thrown on him. He does have a Master Style, and he's gonna try and fight back here. Is he gonna go straight for the Rubik? Yes, he does. Jumps for the Rubik, uses the Hunt. The EU Scepter's gonna buy some time. Is he gonna continue chasing? Yes, he does. He's pretty soft. He's pretty low on HP right now. Come on, save him. Winter Wyvern is actually waiting for the moment. Oh no, does not catch out the Void Spirit. The Skywrath Mage not able to catch out the Kunkka as well, but with the dust, that's gonna be one day Kunkka. Not able to escape the lift. It's gonna stop him, slow him from now. The concussive shot, catching him off. Winter's Curse is up in another few seconds. Tiny Toss goes in straight for the Rubik. One more right click, not enough. The Tree Toss does not connect. The Chronosphere only connects on 1, but here comes the counter initiation. The Phoenix Ultimate used as well. Phoenix Egg is gonna be enough to help bring down the Mirana. The toss combination is just gonna buy some time, as it is going to be cleanup duty right now for the side of Night Gamers, as the fight just took way too long. Every single skill was expanded on the Dire side, and the Radiant side was just holding it in. They didn't use any huge ultimates except for the Ghost Ship up to the end of the fight, where the Chronosphere catches out the Mirana Supernova to stop the entire team fight. Sure, the Winter's Curse was used, But it was not enough. Oh, Phoenix is gonna die for sure. Icarus dive, able to go towards the high ground. Buyback on towards the Mirana. Roshan has respawned. That's gonna be a dead Phoenix for sure. One more tick of damage. He goes down. Tiny still surviving after it all. Does not have any mana left on this Kunkka, so he is gonna have forced to back off there. The buyback is going to be used on the Mirana. That's gonna secure himself to Roshan. Looks like the Phoenix will buy back. Phoenix has no ultimate for another 45 seconds, but that's enough to dissuade the dire side right now from continuing on this Roche attempt as they go for the safer option, getting the outpost. As both teams hang around in this area. Minotaur Horn, huge item there. Maybe they'll give it to the Spectre for him to continue sustaining in fights, because right now he has a heart, boys. He's gonna be surviving through everything if they don't bring him down or just constantly do damage on him. This dispersion as well as the heart is going to make team fights so difficult. They do have a Horn, they do have the Abyssal. Roshan dropping down quite low. The Tiny going in to buy some time. He does have a BKB. He's gonna pop him. No, he does not. A Winter Wyvern gets caught out by the Faceless Void. The Tiny plus his BKB just in time. The Aegis has been picked up. The Faceless Void is dead though. He used his buyback earlier on. He has no buyback. Phoenix is a dieback situation as well. They do have the Winter's Curse. It looks like the Void Spirit, can he survive? Trying to. There is one more leap. They're going for it. The Void Spirit does have one more Dissimulate. Is it going to be enough? He does have Astral Step in another second. Is he going to be able to escape? No, gets spotted out there by the creep. That's not going to be good. Arrow chasing him at the Shadow Dagger as well. Does have another Dissimulate. And he's trying to juke and jive in the trees, but that still provides vision. The Atos connects. Tiny is very close. The stun as well as the avalanche is gonna spell one dead Void Spirit. And after all that, looks like it's going to be Night Gamers at least getting the first lane of Raxus here. The Spectre is just way too huge to be dealt with right now. Acceptor queued up there by the Tiny, foregoing the Silver Edge. And they're going for the tier 3s, going for the high ground, boys. The Mirana is going for the MKB. That's going to be a lot of attack speed as well as damage. Kunkka trying to do his best to stall it out, buy some time for the Spectre to bring for the rest of his team to respawn, because once they do, remember, they still have huge team fight potential with the Supernova as well as the Chronos here. The tower damage without the Mirana is pretty slow. They are buying the time. The respawn is up on the Faceless Void. This tier 3, will it go down? Here comes the Moonlight Shadow. Buying some time from the Spectre. This tower, one more right click should be able to do it, and they will be able to back off. Not really losing anything after that successful team fight up towards the top lane. Spectre picks up the cheese. Let's have the heart, and he's back to full right away. Second wave of creeps coming in already. Still staying in the front line is the Spectre, tanking through all the damage. Tiny jumps in, tries to get a toss back, but he overly aggressive. Gets, oh no, the arrow connects on towards the Faceless Void, gets silenced up, and gets knees down right away. That's a huge blunder here. Has to use the buyback. Supernova Egg is used. The curse, Winter's Curse connects on towards only one, but that buys enough time. Does he get stun locked here? The buyback on the Faceless Void. Where is he right now? We don't see him. Faceless Void, where are you? Waiting for the best time. Aegis has been used on them towards the Mirana. The Tiny still survives after all that. Spectre still fighting in the front lines. Still has his cheese. They get a lane of Rax, loses almost nothing except for a few cooldowns for the side of Evo Esports. They force the buyback for the Faceless Void. Galtuzard, he's just so far away right now as compared to the Spectre. 30,000 net worth on this Spectre compared to the next highest, which is 16,000 on this Void Spirit. And look at a huge net worth swing from 5,000 up. They are now 10,000 down on the side of Night Gamers. Experience wise, 20,000 goes towards the way of the Thai Laotian squad. And that is a momentous mountain to climb right now. Butterfly in the works for Spectre. Pretty much has it if the courier reaches. There we go. Moonlight Shadow. They catch out the Kunkka. Goes straight for him. The Tiny right behind him. Pops the pipe, and there goes the Tiny. Goes towards the back line. The arrow does not connect in time as there is a lot of damage. Chronosphere used. Where is the Winter's Curse? Will he save the Mirana in time? He does not, as the Mirana does fall. No ages left on him. They get one pick off for free. The Tiny might be the second one. Concussive shot slowing things down for now, but the Tiny will fall in the end. That's what happens when you fight separately, because the mobile heroes, the mobility on them is just able to constantly chase. That's gonna be dead Winter Wyvern as well as the Skyram Mage as well. Bruce Lee 1 versus 4. 2 buybacks from the 2 supports, trying to back him up. He does still have the cheese. How long will he fight here? Pops the cheese, pops the Manta, uses the Hunt. Is he able to juke away from the stun in time? No, he does not. Goes straight for the Kunkka. They're happy that they forced it to the buybacks. Trying to back off safely for now. They're going back though. The Silver Edge is used, giving chase on the Spectre. They have no vision. The Spectral Dagger slows things down for now. No buyback on the Tiny and Mirana. They have to remember that they are stuck right now in a 3 versus 5 scenario. And the network swing once again went towards the way of Night Gamer. Still 10,000 on the side of Evo Esports, but at least they are making leeways. These split up fights are just completely benefiting the side of Night Gamers, and they have, you know, no huge waves of damage except for the Mirana as well as the Spectre. The Kunkka with the pipe just negates a lot of the damage, so they do have to play safe. Oh, nice item on nice neutral item picked up there by the Skyram Mage. Does have the Timeless Relic. That's gonna just increase the duration of his debuffs. The silence as well as the slow is gonna last so long, not to mention the Road of Atos as well. After having that, that's almost 2.5 seconds on towards the Road of Atos. Tiny does have the axe, but still lacking in 1 damage item, because as we did see him, you know, use a huge salvo or 3 volley on towards everyone, but not enough to really significantly do damage, and he has just been playing as a meat shoot for now. Buyback status wise, only 1 hero in the entire game has the buyback for now. Spectre just got his, so if it's down to a Spectre versus Void Spirit fight, my money's on a Spectre any day of the week. We do see a lot of new viewers on stream. Welcome guys, welcome. This is the Rise of Legion July 2020 finals. Hold that thought for now as they instantly kill off the Winter Wyvern as well as the Rubik. The Supernova is used. They're trying to bring down the egg in time. The Mirana comes in. The damage, is it enough? No, they're not. It's gonna be a 4-man stun coming from the Supernova. The Stun Ray dealing a lot of percentage based damage as well as the Tiny is trying to juke and jive away. The Spectre giving chase on towards the Kunkka. Kunkka will fall almost for sure, trying to buy some time, but he will fall. Tiny more tanky than ever, but he does fall in the end. Triple Q. The arrow does not connect on towards anyone. The face is void. He must be careful. If he gets stunned by this Abyssal Blade, he is dead. But able to escape for now. There is a... oh, no. That's going to be the Void Spirit getting the ultra kill. He basically killed everyone on the side of Evo Esports. Evo Esports is just not taking these fights well. The backline is just too squishy, and all their gold is circumvented around this Spectre that, you know, the rest of his teammates are just way too soft to sustain in fights. The Spectre has a huge load to carry, and he has to carry because this Mirana is not scaling well. He's still pretty squishy. As you can see, he's trying to go for the Eye of Skadi to try and help out in terms of damage. The Tiny going towards the Sub Cuirass as well to try and, you know, just boost up everyone's damage, because we can see in the fights they are lacking a lot in those damages, in the damage department. Void Spirit, him alone, he killed 4 heroes on the side of Evo Esports, and that's not gonna bode well if you are this if you are the Laotian squad. 47 minutes in, Roshan is up for both teams to take right now. Third Roshan does drop the refresher shard. That's gonna be huge for the Chronosphere or even the Supernova. They are going for it. They have an idea it's up. The arrow pretty much confirms it, seeing everyone is here. The Spectral Haunt is used right away, going for the Faces Void, almost bringing down. Oh, but that's gonna be one dead with the Wyvern. The Supernova is used. Where's the Mirana? They need the Mirana. Oh, but the Chronosphere protects the egg just in time. That's gonna be the dead Mirana for sure. The Spectre still fighting it out. The Tiny trying to survive. No, that's gonna be the one Spectre left surviving because everyone else is just not enough to continue fighting. Night Gamers just proving that they have the superior team fight in the late game. Doesn't matter if you're 10,000, 20,000 behind the Spectre. If you have the superior team fight, if you bring down everyone but the Spectre, you are able to win this fight, and that's gonna give them the Roshan. That's gonna be a huge boost in economy, and in terms of net worth, we are pretty much back at niche. Both teams have the same net worth as well. X experience pretty much after this Roshan, and that gives the Faces Void an Aegis as well as a Refresher Shard. That's gonna make their next fight very, very tough to take here. There is buyback on there's a buyback on the Tiny. The mid lane does still have the bigger creeps, the bigger neutral creeps. But this tower, this tier 2 tower at least is not long for this world. They are respawning very soon. But we can see the Void Spirit already playing a very forward position to begin jumping in aggressively. Into Wyvern, he cannot get caught out. He has just been caught out again and again. He is 3, 15 and 11. He has to play it very far back because he is pretty much their only way of counter initiating. And his counter initiation is so important to keep heroes like the Mirana alive, heroes like the Winter Wyvern, the Skywrath Mage alive, because him dying first has just been the bane of every single team fight right now that is taken from the side of Evo Gamers, Evo Esports. Faces Void does have the Satanic already completed as well as the Minotaur Horn. That's gonna keep him alive for so long. Having the extra BK 0.75 seconds, 2 seconds of that magic immunity means he should be able, in any case, to pop his Minotaur Horn into a time walk, which keeps him alive for even longer. He is level 27 right now. They go for the Chronosphere AoE talent, and we'll have the MKB completed very soon. Spectre is almost 30, and Spectre 30 is very huge as well, having the additional slow on the Spectral Dagger as well as the Haunt Illusion damage. Is a huge turning factor as well. Mirana getting that level 25 does give herself 2 more Sacred Arrows. That is a pretty hit or miss skill, as in literally if you hit 3 heroes you win the fight. If not, bad luck for you. The Void Spirit does have the Astral Step crit. Just gonna help down in terms of burst damage. Phoenix almost level 25 as well. Once he gets that Supernova hit count, it's just gonna be so hard to kill him off. BKB popped just in time by the Mirana. Are they gonna give chase? The Mirana very low, 200 HP left remaining. Looks like they will not continue giving chase. Oh, the arrow connects on towards the Phoenix. They are trying to back off though from the side of Evo Esports. Just happy to defend their high ground for now. And the Spectre, Moonshard already consumed, is making his way for an Eye of Skadi. What is he going to be replacing for the Eye of Skadi? Most likely it's going to be his boots. Meanwhile, the Void Spirit going for more and more damage, queuing up the Daedalus, and he's gonna crit for huge amounts, and it stacks up with his Astral Step crit talent as well. Bottom lane is pushed out, but not as much as top lane, as the Faces Void is poised to start hitting on this tier 3. Chronosphere used on the backline. That's the Winter Wyvern once again. They keep catching out this Winter Wyvern. The damage on towards him almost enough, but the BKB able to be popped there by the Void Spirit in time. Buyback on towards the Winter Wyvern. The Ghost Ship lands, but not enough. It's gonna be the Ghost Ship fleet that faces Void down very low. Pounds the BKB does have. The Satanic will get stunned up. He does still have the Aegis. He's happy to survive. Phoenix Sun does land, and that's gonna be the dead Tiny. Any buyback on him? Yes, he does. Buyback on towards the Tiny. Huge Winter's Curse catching on towards the Phoenix. The Faceless Void does lose his Aegis while the Spectre is still fighting, still standing, still holding on. As the Chronosphere once again on towards 3 heroes this time. Labyrinth player, Caltazar. What a beast right now. Bad laning phase, doesn't matter. Still surviving. Oh, but the triple toss. Oh, they actually lose the Faceless Void. Overly aggressive there, stuck within 3 heroes. And right now, they're giving chase on towards this Kunkka, trying to TP away the Abyssal, not on cooldown. The stun, the avalanche coming from the Tiny actually connects, and he brings him down. 4 heroes down, only 2 buybacks used. There is 2-3 buybacks on the side of the Radiant, but that fight just looks so good for the side of Night Gamers. The secondary 3 hero Chrono, oh, there was just no damage following him up. The Faceless Void does have no AoE. He did use all his Minotaur Horn in the fight previously, and just without the damage, he can catch 5 heroes, and without the damage, they can't turn these fights around. Buyback has to be forced on towards the Faceless Void. They secured the lane of Rax as well as super creeps, and they won a little bit more here. Spectre going up towards the top lane. The Mirana is trying to run her way up there as well, trying to buy some time. They do not want to buy back on the Phoenix or the Void Spirit for now. 24 seconds till they respawn. But this tier 3 looks like it will fall for sure. Oh, Tiny toss towards the back line, not catching off anyone. And that's gonna be the second tier 3 of the game going down here. The tree volley was used, the melee racks going down, range racks not long for this war as well. Mirana just packs a punch. They're going straight for the Faceless Void. Pops the BKB just in time. Actually, just the Minotaur Horn. Minotaur Horn is off. That's gonna be the Mirana going down once again. The Spectre going over aggressively here as they're going for the Phoenix ultimate. Oh no, the Spectre, you have sinned. You have overly aggressed on this Phoenix. They do get the second lane of Raxus. Oh, but that is just terrible right now. The Faceless Void. Oh, they're not done yet. As the Ruby gets caught out, but it is the Skyraft Mage that has to run for his life. There is going to be an Encourage Dive in another 20 seconds. The Faceless Void with the time dilation slows him down, and that's going to be one dead Skyraft Mage for sure. They did, for the side of Evil Gamers, Evil Esports, they do get the second lane of Rax at the cost of losing 3 heroes. They do still have the buybacks. They should buy back for this, not wanting to trade the Rax for a Rax. At least the Spectre should buy back, and the Winter Wyvern has to play very, very far back. Somehow or another, this Winter Wyvern has to get a Blink Dagger, and not the Lotus Orb. I wouldn't like him going for the Lotus Orb. There's not enough single target damage to warrant that. Playing with the Blink Dagger and Force Staff means that you are just able to play safe from such a huge distance. One lane of Rax going down. Spectre up in another 10 seconds. 3 volley to try and buy some time here. The second tier 3 is almost down, but with the Spectre alive, they do not want to risk it. There's no buyback left on the Faceless Void, and another bad fight could spell disaster. Hunt is up on the ready. They're gonna smoke up right away and hopefully catch someone off guard. They don't need the Scarab Mage right now. If I were them, I would just smoke up and just keep chasing. The Scarab Mage can catch up later. Roshan is about to spawn in another 80 seconds or so, but the Scarab Mage is out. They waited for him towards the end. Roshan out in another 60 seconds. As they are smoked up. Waiting for the next Roshan. Next Roshan is gonna make it or break it. Roshan up in 20 seconds. Do they have a smoke on the Radiant? No, they do not. So they have to rely on clearing all these angles themselves. They do have a gem on the Void Spirit, so that's gonna help them clear off a lot of the vision. Roshan is up in 10 seconds. A secondary smoke as well as Moonlight Shadow. Oh, sorry, it's only the Moonlight Shadow used right now versus the smoke. Oh, they go in. Chronosphere on towards only the Tiny. The Winter's Curse buys enough time. Is it going to be enough? No, it's not going to be, as the Tiny does fall. But the Phoenix does have to be forced to buy back. Mirana is falling. Oh, the Axe Scepter on the Kunkka doing so much work. They lose the Void Spirit. He just gets chomped down there by the Spectre. The triple arrows connects on towards the Kunkka. Which target would they go for? The Scarab Mage will be the one getting caught out here. BKB used there by the Faceless Void. The tree volley, buying some time. Mirana just continuously kiting. The Winter Wyvern dies. It's gonna be a dieback on towards the Mirana as well. It's gonna be the Spectre all alone once again. The Winter Wyvern is a bit too far. He's continuing fighting back. He does still have the Abyss, so does have the heart, but the heart is not gonna be ticking. The heart region is not gonna tick in, and that's gonna be the dead Spectre here, and that's gonna be a full 5-man wipe coming in from the side of the Indonesian squad as they clear the decks. Even if the Spectre buys back, he has no way to contest this Roshan, and this might spell the end right now with the Ags as well as the refresher shard. I mean the Kunkka refresher. The Kunkka Ags just did so much work in the last fight. They did needed to expend 3 buybacks in the end, but that was very well worth it. Right now, with 4 heroes at least off the deck for the next 30 seconds, they can try and force the Spectre to buy back, or even just make it a game right now. They do have to push up against super creeps, but the Faceless Void having the X blessing coming from the Roshan is going to help them push up quite a bit. Not to mention the Kunkka. Oh, what a huge team fight for him. The buyback is forced in the end here as they are hitting on the second tier 4. It does fall. Spectre choosing his targets carefully. It's gonna be a 3 versus 4 at the moment. If they do not watch out, that's gonna be the Spectre Ags ultimate use. And looks like it's the side of Night Gamers. They're going to play safe, go for the second lane of Rack after getting a tier 4. Here comes the full haunt. They're gonna jump straight on towards the Faceless Void. But no, not enough follow up. He does pop the Minotaur Horn to try and get away. And it's gonna be a chase. They should not chase. This Winter Wyvern, if they are chasing, he's gonna be in a bad position. He does have the Blink Dagger. Buyback on him as well. They're gonna go straight for the Scarab Mage. Oh no, badly timed there. That's gonna be a dead. Oh no, scratch that as they catch 4 heroes in the Chronosphere. That's gonna be a bad fight. They lose 1 immediately. Buyback instantly on towards the Winter Wyvern. They lose the Mirana. Mirana has no buyback. Neither does the Scarab Mage as they lose 3 so far. 1 buyback has been used. The Satanic on towards the Faceless Void, keeping him alive. The Spectre, he has no buyback, and that's pretty much it. 4, 5 versus 1 at the moment. The Tiny has to buy back, try and buy some time. But looks like it is not going to be enough. That's going to be, looks like the end of the road here for the side of Evo Esports, at least for game 1, as they lose the full 5-man, and that's going to be the GG called. Night Gamers, what a comeback coming from them. Tough game to win, but a win nonetheless. That's going to be first game going towards the way of the Indonesian squad as they put themselves 1 step closer to getting that huge chunk of the 1,000 US dollar prize pool. So guys, my name is Zero. I'm gonna take a break before we come back with game number 2. Until then guys, stay tuned. This is the Rise of Legion Dota 2 July Grand Finals brought to you by Lenovo. And I'll see you after we have a short break and like a couple of messages from our sponsors. Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Rise of Legion Dota 2 July Grand Finals between Night Gamers Indonesia and 11 as well as Evo Esports. And if you guys are just tuning in, you just missed a heck
Remaining.
of a first game of this best of 3 series. Night Gamers,
Seconds remaining.
after a tough 50-minute game, did manage to climb back after a deficit, against a huge, very farm Spectre, and closed out the game with 50,000 net worth lead. So congratulations to them, well done. In the first game they are 1 foot ahead of their opponent, but they do have to close it out in at least one of the next 2 games in order to walk away with the $600 in terms of prize pool in the Rise of Legion Dota 2 July Grand Finals. Facing up against them is Evo Esports, a Thai and Laotian squad, and they have proven to be a very worthy adversary.
Radiant team back.
But just for game 1, it was just a huge difference in terms of draft that ultimately in the late game did give the advantage to Night Gamers. And we have game 2 already going underway. The draft is already underway. We do have very similar bans from both sides. The Ember Spirit, Terrorblade, the Bat Rider Puck, as well as the Faceless Void banned out there by Night Gamers. While Evo Esports bans out the Nirvana, Nature's Prophet, Timbersaw, Phantom Lancer, as well as the Troll Warlord.
Dire team pick.
Evo Esports just sticking to their guns right now. They really like the Tiny, it seems, and they just pick it up right away as their first pick. They did have the first pick advantage, of course, in this game, so they went for the Tiny, followed it up with a Phoenix and then a Spectre as the hard carry.
10 seconds.
Night Gamers picking up the Voice Spirit. The Voice Spirit was very instrumental in hunting down the squishier supports, just turning the team fights in their favor. So Night Gamers is going to stick with that. Voice Spirit picking up the Bane, Pangolier, and Necrophos as well. So a lot different in terms of approach as compared to game 1. Instead of a hard carry right away, they pick up a Pangolier as their offlane or support. It could be a support, and a Necrophos for themselves as well. This gives Night Gamers a bit of flexibility in terms of switching up their roles a little bit. They can put the Pangolier towards the mid or towards the offlane. The Voice Spirit can go towards all 3 lanes. Necrophos as well. All 3 lanes are pretty safe for him. The Necrophos is a pretty strong hero against the Spectre in terms of laning, so they might put the Necrophos there, use the Pangolier as a support, or it could just be, you know, a Necrophos meet Pangolier going off lane and the Void Spirit safe lane. But we do not see a lot of last pick supports here, so something tells me that this Pangolier is going to be going towards more supporting role, and Night Gamers is going to pick something that can help them hit towers really fast, because that's one thing that is missing from their lineup right now, is some tower pushing as well as physical damage. They have a lot of magical damage right now with the Necrophos, the Void Spirit, and the Pangolier as well, but they need something to hit on the Spectre or even on the towers. So no Troll, no Phantom Lancer. There are still heroes like the Phantom Assassin, heroes like the Ursa if they want to go for that. Ursa has been nerfed quite a bit in this recent patch, but still very viable, pretty strong hero against the Spectre as well, because the damage just keeps adding up.
Team back.
And I was gonna suggest the Anti-Mage, but looks like Evo Esports have the same idea as well, batting out the Anti-Mage. While Night Gamers, seeing the Oracle picked up there from Evo Esports, do not want something cheesy like a Oracle Huskar combination here.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team back. Dire team pick.
Morphling will be the last ban coming from Evo Esports, while Queen of Pain is the ban of choice here from Night Gamers. So this gives an indication that this the Void Spirit is going towards the mid. You do not want to play against the Queen of Pain with a Void
10
Spirit.
seconds remaining.
Sure, you can dodge the poison dagger with the dissimulate once or twice, but then the cooldown on the shadow dagger is just way too short, and that's going to give you the advantage. Evo Esports playing very greedily here, picking up the Storm Spirit as their mid lane. That's going to be the Spectre and Storm Spirit as the main course, with the Tiny backing it up as a position 4. So a lot of the rotations is going to be relying on this Tiny. The Bane, of course, does have the long duration disable against the Storm Spirit, but it's gonna still be a pretty hard game to play as a Bane because the Storm can just jump on you right away. So can the Spectre and the Tiny. This Bane does have to work miracles in order to try and make some impact in this game. Last pick is going to be Balthazar playing the Juggernaut. And that's a physical right click hero that can push towers. I'll give them that, but the pace of the game is pretty fast here for the side of Night Gamers. They have the Juggernaut with the Healing Ward to help them push towers. The Necrophos, the Bane always like to constantly fight, so does the Pangolier. Void Spirit, the lowest cooldown, one of the lowest cooldown heroes of the entire game, so that he can just constantly fight. The only problems with him are his mana usage, so he has to watch out, you know, how he doesn't want to overspend his mana. Until then, guys, let's take a look at how both of these teams will fare in Game 2 of this Best of 3 series. My name is Zero, and this might be the deciding match to find out who will be winning the $600 US. Is it gonna be Evo Esports making it to a Game 3, or will it be Night Gamers Indonesia finishing things off for Flair in game number 2?
Prepare for battle.
There is nothing that can stop this man! There is nothing that can stop this man!
Just happened.
I admit nothing but my sadness that you're gone. For the old razzle dazzle. I admit nothing but my sadness that you're gone. Now for the old razzle dazzle.
Here we go, man. Here we go, guys. Game number 2. We have 9K support playing the Bane. Necrophos is played by Dot, who played a fantastic Kunkka game previously. Love in my pocket. Once again, on his Void Spirit, Balthazar playing the Juggernaut, and last but not least, Crush on the support Pangolier. Meanwhile, on the dark side, we have Phoenix played by Minalor. Tiny, again on Desperate, is gonna be Jifuda on the Storm Spirit. Forever will be manning the Oracle, and Spectre will be played by our favorite Bruce Lee. And a pretty similar setup once again as compared to the last game. 3 heroes securing the bottom runes, while top lane is just gonna be a right click battle. We do see the Oracle trying his best to maybe snipe off one of the runes there, but the Necrophos has an idea. And it's gonna go 2 apiece, despite all the attempts on both sides. Happy to take 2 runes for everyone here. And the Oracle is actually a fantastic hero to play against the Necrophos in all stages of the game. If you're in lane, you can just debuff his Ghost Shroud with your Fortune's End. Even in the late game, you can nullify his ultimate damage with his Fate's Edict, or even with a False Promise. So, a good hero to pick up against the Necrophos. Pretty much hard counted throughout the entire game. But, of course, this Oracle, is he gonna have a great time against the Pangolier as well as the Void Spirit? We just have to wait and see here. The Pangolier already being harassed down to half health, did have to be forced to use a self very early on, as the Oracle just constantly harassing him. Oh, gets slowed down there by the Orb of Venom. This might be bad for the Oracle, as Necrophos was thinking about going over there to help him. Spectral Dagger will force him back for the moment. The Fortune's End will connect, but not enough damage. There is still no Purifying Flames yet on the Oracle, so he's gonna be able, at least the Pangolier is going to be able to back off. Bottom lane, this is gonna be a much better lane there for Balthazar on this Juggernaut, having the higher attack speed, Not to mention, just so much more tankier compared to the Spectre, with having the healing ward in the lane as well. Not to mention the Blade Fury is gonna help him negate through a lot of the stun damage, all of the magic damage coming from this Phoenix, as well as the tiny Bane, taking a lot of damage from the Fire Spirits. But with the Brain Sap, he keeps himself in check. Oracle still level 1 up in the top lane, almost level 2. The Pangolier manages to pull the creeps off. Does take a Fortune's End towards the face, taking a lot of damage, but the Swashbuckle once again keeps things at bay in terms of the distance. And we have a pretty even laning stage for both of these teams. One thing about playing against a Void Spirit is that his cooldowns are very apparent. You know, once he uses the Resonant Pulse, he does have a short downtime, so does the Astral Spirit. Sorry, Aether Remnant. Astral Spirit is something else. Aether Remnant, after you use that, you do have a short period of time where you don't have the skills. So once you see those skills off cooldown or missed, that's when you can start, you know, just farming even though you have such low health. A Void Spirit knows that, the Storm Spirit knows that as well. You know, being brothers, they do know weaknesses of each other. So, playing to their best of advantages, best of their wills here in towards the mid lane. As you can see, it's very even on both of these mid heroes. 18-4 against 18-1. The Storm Spirit having a little bit less denies, but does have his bottle already completed. So does the Void Spirit, as his is being sent out right away. Oh, the Courier is gonna get sniped off there by the Pangolier. He does have a Swashbuckle in case it gets a little bit out of range, but he's gonna be happy picking up Bruce Lee's Courier. The items, he did have a couple of items in the Courier as well, so that's gonna be a little bit bummer for him. Trying to pull the creeps, nicely done there by 9k support on the Bane. Able to pull a huge wave, which it will eventually get cleared out by the Hellbear Smasher. The Tiny trying to do his best to get in range of the experience. Gets a large creep experience as it was shared, but everything else tries to get denied here. Bounty runes gonna power runes are gonna spawn. It's gonna be a bottom bounty rune, power rune, and it's gonna be the Void Spirit picking it up with his bottle. So sad Storm here. He's still pretty healthy, so he is okay to just continue stacking in the creeps. Meanwhile, Bane manages to snipe off the Phoenix's Courier in the bottom lane, and that's gonna be one dead Tiny. The toss not able to use it in time as the Blade Dance, one level Blade Dance, the Blade Dance with the crit was able to kill him off. The mana, Bane, one more, no, not in range as he manages to use the Icarus dive to save his life. The usage of the Clarity was not in time, and that just helps the Phoenix survive for a little bit longer, but I think it would have been better for the Phoenix to just suicide, because right now he's low on health. Maybe the Tiny can ferry him some regen, but that's gonna be on a position 4 on a Tiny, where you want to, you know, get your early items as soon as possible. So pause coming through from the Dire side.
There is nothing that can stop this man.
Looks like there's a little bit of lag issues, but we are back into the game. Oh, top lane is gonna be the Oracle being killed here by the Pangolier with the Aura Venom, as well as the Lucky Shot slow. That's gonna be a tough escape to be done there by the Oracle, and eventually he does not fall. Bounty runes do spawn. It's gonna be 3 for the Radiant side. So the Storm managing to pick up the only one for the Dire side, and he's not level 6 yet. He has to watch out. Phoenix does TP in to try and give the bottle, refill the bottle here for the Storm Spirit. And with that, Storm does reach level 6, so he's gonna be a lot safer than he was a couple of seconds ago. With having the ball remnant means that he can play a little bit more aggressively. The damage being done by the Void Spirit on towards him is quite substantial, but not enough to bring him down in time. Juggernaut already has a phase boost this game, but meanwhile top lane looks like they did manage to kill off the Oracle once again. It's gonna be the Necrophos. Without the ultimate, actually 3 levels in the Heartstopper aura was enough to kill him off, and that's 2000 gold lead going towards the way of Night Gamers early on. Very nicely done there by the Indonesian squad. Mantap betul. And the Juggernaut already level 6, so he is pretty safe against anything. Can go towards the jungle if he needs to. Is queuing up a drums of endurance to help him fight earlier on. Having the bonus attack speed on the drums is always great. The stats as well. The Bane might be in some trouble. He needs to use a Brain Stab right away. Use a Nightmare, but the right click from the Tiny, actually it was the burn from the Phoenix, will be enough to bring him down and punish him for his transgressions. Necrophos level 6, as well as getting the Power Thrust, means that he is extra tanky. Does have a heal. He's trying to fight back. That was just prompting his ultimate with the Reaper's Sight, but Spectre might be in some trouble. Here comes the Reaper's Sight. Spectre does die, and the heal not enough to keep him alive, but did buy him a little bit of time here. The Void Spirit rotation did manage to pick off the Phoenix as well, but that leaves the Angolier to die. Meanwhile, bottom lane, it was the Juggernaut able to get the solo kill on towards the Tiny as well. But meanwhile, top lane, it will be the Oracle going down. The Storm Spirit does have a little bit of mana left to maybe try and escape, but they're not going to continue giving chase. They see the stick charges, they see the mana on the Storm Spirit, and they know that they can't continue giving chase without the backup coming in from the rest of his team. Bottle refill service brought to you by Necrophos. Much appreciated. 5 stars for your friendly Uber driver here. Void Spirit does have mana for another engagement. The Bane is not level 6 yet. They can set up with a Nightmare if they want to, but they get spotted out there by the Observer Ward. The TP coming in from the Oracle will continue filling up the bottle of the Storm Spirit. And the Storm Spirit will continue his jungling shenanigans here. Playing a little bit of Jumanji. Finding boars. Fighting setters and banshees and what have you, golems in the jungle. And golems are the worst creeps for the Storm to find. They are pretty highly magic resistant, but no issues to clear them out right away. But meanwhile, top lane, the Oracle in trouble once again. There is going to be enough damage, even though it's mostly magic damage, to bring him down. And it's gonna be the Necrophos to pick up the last hit, which means that he gets the regen from the Heartstopper aura. We were talking about, you know, how poorly the early game will go for the side of Evo Esports, and we can see now the Storm and the Spectre, after a tough laning phase, is forced to go in towards the jungle, which means that everywhere else is just completely safe for the opponent's cores to farm up. The Juggernaut not in any danger whatsoever before the Tiny has a dagger and before the Storm Spirit starts rotating, so he is farming very nicely. Not to mention his item build is pretty much anti-gank, because going for a lot of stats means that they have to use a lot to try and get a kill on him, and they catch out the Oracle once again. He uses the Face Edict, delays a lot of damage done, and they're under the tower. Here comes the Storm as well, rotating in. There is a Nightmare. Is he gonna be able to juke in time? No, he does not, as the Spectre coming in, trying to get some kills there, but it will be the Storm Spirit catching a kill on towards the Bane. And that helps him catch up a little bit, but 4,000 net worth still in the leads towards the side of Night Gamers, as the scoreline is 8-4. They catch this. They see this poor Oracle once again trying to do his best to buy some time. There is a Reaper's Sight. Will they use it? Nope. Still saving it. One more right click should be able to seal the deal. 30 HP. No, they're actually just waiting for the Swashbuckle. The Swashbuckle connects perfectly from Crush. Meanwhile, mid lane, Bruce Lee might be in some trouble being chased here. The TP is coming in. There is a regen room. They cannot let him have it, and they do not let him have it. Bruce, the Nightmare, is gonna just slow him down, and that's gonna mean that he's gonna be dead for sure. The Juggernaut, we talked about him being hard to gang, and he's just gonna TP away to safety. The Spectre actually surviving. Not enough damage from this Bane as well as this Void Spirit, but they do manage to get a consolation kill though on towards the Phoenix, who tried to TP in to help his Spectre, and he did have to pay with his life. Meanwhile, top lane, this Necrophos is very farmed halfway towards his mech. Halfway towards his pipe, and once he has that, he's gonna be negating a lot of the magical damage as just like last game. You know, they have, even though the heroes are very different, the playstyle is fundamentally the same. The off lane becomes a tank, has damage and just tank ability, survivability, picks up a pipe, and that negates a lot of the damage coming from the Spectre as well as the Storm Spirit. Not to mention the Phoenix as well, and the Tiny. It is mainly a magical damage lineup coming in from the dire side. They spot the... oh, that's gonna be the dead Storm for sure, as they are trying to go for more of the Tiny as well as the Oracle. He can toss the Oracle to safety if he wants to, but it looks like he will use the Oracle as bait. The Phoenix has no egg as of yet. The Oracle, one more right click should be able to kill him off, and yes, he does fall. The Spectral Dagger trying to make the Void Spirit think twice, but not enough, as they pick up 2 quick kills. One, which was a huge kill on towards the Storm Spirit, did go down, and that gives them the mid tier 1, and they might continue pressuring on towards this tier 2. Juggernaut with 1 skill able to just walk away from any sort of danger, having the Blade Fury, but it is on cooldown. Here comes the Storm Spirit. He does have a Omni Slash. Is that going to be an avalanche? It's going to be used. The Omni Slash, are they going to use it? Here comes the healing ward. Omni Slash doing a lot of damage. Storm almost dies and actually falls off. With the Void Spirit is there. The tree toss, not enough damage to bring him down. The Supernova is used, and that's going to be the Tiny barely surviving. He should tick down. Yes, he does, but that means the Void Spirit had to stay an extra second to try and bring him down. And in the end, it was the Oracle picking up the streak kill from the Void Spirit. 2-for-1 trade-off here. Not so great, not as expected from the Radiant side. They expected a far more cleaner fight. And the Dire, of course, they wanted a Juggernaut kill. They got a Void Spirit. Can't complain about that, seeing that, you know, they are in pretty dire straits here. Any kill is going to help them out at the moment. We have a little deviation in terms of item builds coming from this Storm Spirit. It's going straight for an Orchid, not going for that Eels into Axe Rush. He wants to be able to catch out the Storm Spirit as early as possible before the Storm gets something defensive like an Eel Scepter or a BKB. So having that early link, this early Orchid means that the Storm cannot play aggressively around this Void Spirit, because once silenced and you're pretty much dead right now. Void Spirit halfway to his Axe Scepter, spots out a stack, gonna be happy clearing that out. Means less farm for the Storm, more farm for himself, as the Storm is trying to make his way towards an Orchid and a Kaya for himself as well. Looks like they are going to try and go for this Juggernaut, who is going for a Battle Fury. Can they get the initiation day 1 in time? Because there is no Blink Dagger on this Tiny. They have to rely on this Storm Spirit, and even then, the Tiny has to follow him up almost immediately. Meanwhile, top lane, tier 2 tower being brought down to half health already. Glyph was forced out here from the Dire side to keep the creeps alive, and they're gonna bring the tier 2 tower a little bit too tanky than what it used to be. Oh, Spectre uses the Horn. They're gonna go for engagement here. The Ghost Shroud is used by the Necrophos. The Storm goes straight for him. They use Scepter to try and buy some time. Here comes the Pangolier, creating some space. Oh, perfectly done there. Necrophos is gonna fall. Is he going to? No, he is not. Buys a lot of time, but the fight still goes on. The Necrophos is down. The Bane catches out the Storm Spirit. Is there enough damage? Yes, there is. The Omni Slash committed right away, and that's gonna be everyone from the Dire side trying to make a run for the 4-man's Fortune's End, doing a lot of work. But Crush Jack still manages to survive. Here comes the False Form is used on towards the Tiny. Tiny pops the healing salve as well, trying to buy some time. There is a Resonant Pulse. Is he gonna use it? Yes, he is. But not enough damage to bring him down. Here comes the damage on towards the Spectre. That is the target they're going for. And they might get all of the whole kit and caboodle as a Tiny try to juke away. A Rampage for Caltazar this early on. Oh my god. I didn't even notice he got the triple kill. But Caltazar, 15 minutes in, he gets a Rampage. puts himself so far ahead in terms of net worth, and look at that damage dealt. And the gold gotten there by the Juggernaut. Rampage, 4 bounty runes. Well, looks like it's gonna be only 2 bounty runes, but still pretty happy about that. Can't complain if you're the Juggernaut. I mean, I was just gifted a Rampage by my entire team. I got a lot of experience from that as well. He's level 13. Water Spectre is level 9 right now. Even the mid heroes. Storm is 10. Voice Spirit 11. This Rampage picked up there by the Juggernaut is going to propel him so far ahead. Already has the Battle Fury in 15 minutes with the drums, not to mention another 900 gold on top. This definitely has to be one of the most farmed Juggernauts I have seen so far in my history of casting as well as playing. 15 minutes in, he has a Battle Fury, he has a drums, he has a phase boost, and 9,000 gold. This is 900 gold. This is Alchemist level of farm, and this is pretty much a free farming Alchemist in terms of farm. Kel'Thuzad has done very well for himself in this game. Set his team towards the path of victory with 10,000 net worth ahead of the side of Evo Esports, and in terms of experience, pretty much the same as well. 10,000 in the lead for the Indonesian side, as they can just play however they want, knowing that they are in the lead. They spot out the poor Oracle once again. Is he gonna use the false promise to keep himself alive? No, the damage coming from the Juggernaut as well as the Pangolier way too high, and they are just making a run for it. Omnislash is off cooldown. The Phoenix gonna die in one click. The Tiny trying to juke away. Oh, the Storm was trying to maybe buy some time, but not enough, as it's gonna be the double kill picked up there by the Pangolier. Taking a page out of the Juggernaut's book. And as a position 4, these kill streaks are very, very nice to have. He's gonna have his Spirit Vessel up very soon, which is gonna help against the Spectre as well as the Oracle on anyone, and even the Sunray is gonna be so much less effective against the Spirit Vessel brought up. Mid tier 2 does fall. The Juggernaut, we talked about a right click physical carry which can bring down towers, and he fits the bill almost perfectly here. Clumsy Net, another great neutral item for the Pangolier, and he found it himself. So he's gonna be able to just chain stun people in his ultimate. And if that's the Storm without the Eel Scepter, without the BKB anytime soon, he's gonna be in a very tough time. The Storm almost has his the Orchid Malevolence, which is going to help him out in terms of team fight, but without a Kaya, without the Eel Scepter, he's not going to be able to sustain himself for long. He has to go for those quick in and out plays, and even then, he's just in such a susceptible position to get caught out by any of these disables. Having the Bane, using his ultimate on him, the Aether Remnant coming from the Void Spirit, it's just gonna be tough. And not to mention, once the Pangolier gets in range of the Rolling Thunder as well as the Clumsy Net, he's gonna be able to keep people dead for such a long time. Illusion baited out a lot of the mana coming from the Storm, has to back off right away, in no position to fight. It's gonna be the Pangolier trying to get some vision, trying to get the Clumsy Net on the opponent, but nothing of that sort will happen as the bottom tier 1 will fall. And GID, will they go for another one? The Spectre, not having the best of time as compared to the last game, is going to not go for a straight up Radiance, opting to go for a Mansa style early on instead, so that he can help out his team. It is still some ways away, 2,100 gold to be exact. In the previous game, Bruce Lee already had a Radiance at around this timing, so he is pretty far behind if you compare him to his previous match here. Oh, Orchid already completed on the Voice Spirit, getting a free kill. But meanwhile, the Stormtree does have the Orchid of his own. The Phoenix comes in, but not enough damage to bring down the Voice Spirit. No, they just barely have it with the Tiny coming in. Spectral Horn was used as well. The Pangolier trying to escape. The plenty of mana left on the Stormtree. He zips in, does have a pull in a second. Oh, but the Storm, he has overcommitted, has no mana left. Omnislash coming from the Juggernaut, able to kill off the Phoenix right away, and Clumsy Net locks the Storm in time. Storm is out of mana. He's gonna fall. What a worthy trade coming in from the side of NGID as they pick up 3 kills as well as 2 bounty runes. Not to mention The Juggernaut got a double kill once again, so a lot of gold going towards his way. He's gonna get his next item very quickly, and what's gonna be? It's gonna be a Manta style to counteract against the Orchid already picked up there by the Storms. So he will not be in any case. He's almost impossible to just get stun locked down or just bursted because he just has so much stats with his item build that he went for. The Manta style providing HP, the drums as well as the magic wand. He's just gonna sustain through everything. Not to mention the pipe already completed on this Necrophos makes him less susceptible to all the magic damage coming from the Dire side. Double damage rune made quick work of that Roshan, but they're not done yet. Imclaw, Grove Bow found by the Juggernaut as well as a Nether Shot. No, not great items for him to find. He wants something like a Vambrace, something that a Vambrace or even a Vampire Claw would be great for the Juggernaut, but he has to stick with his poor man's shield for now. Do they have any more slots for neutral items? No, they do not. So that's all they can work with for now. As they want to push up towards the high ground, they have the pipe up and running. They have the Aegis and the sustain coming in from the Necrophos. Juggernaut has the healing ward as well. Not to mention they have the siege creep, which is piped up, and that's not gonna be possible to kill off even by the storm zipping in. So that's gonna be a free tier 3 trying to buy some time with the Fate's Edict as well as the Fortune Sand, but Juggernaut gives no hoots, continues right-clicking away on the tower, and that's gonna be a very early enough Rax after the first game, which was completely bad. But here comes a huge team fight. The Phoenix ultimate, is it gonna land? No, it is not going to, as the Phoenix does fall. Omnis that's doing so much damage gets a double for the Juggernaut, and they are not happy with that buyback coming in from the Phoenix. But Phoenix has no more Supernova. Can they continue fighting in? That's gonna be the Storm jumping in right away, trying to kill off the Bane. The Bane not able to survive, but the Storm, is he gonna pay with his life? Barely surviving. No, he might take out. Oh, but the Fortune's End is able to debuff the Spirit Vessel, and that keeps the Storm alive for the moment. But 2, 4, 3 as well as Elena Rax. I reckon that the side of NGID will be pretty content with that. And to make things worse, the Juggernaut already queued up an Eye of Skadi. He is halfway to it. We'll have it very, very soon. And once he has, he's nigh unkillable by the enemy squad. Having at least 2,500 HP. And with the lack of right clicks coming from the side of Evo Esports, they're not going to be able to bring him down in time. And he's going to almost buy his Eye of Skadi straight up. Omnislash up in another minute or so, and then they will be good to go. Aegis does still have 2 minutes left on his timer. They might have spotted out the Tiny. Oh, look at the cast range from the Aetherlands. They're gonna catch out the Tiny. Tiny uses Spirit Vessel on, trying to kill off the Bane before he gets brought down, but looks like he barely able to do it. Nice clumsy net able to create the distance, and the Bane survives to tell the tale. Tiny though does not, and that might be the second lane of Rax. Supernova is up. There is buyback on no one for the Dire side. So once this tower goes down, that's the end of it. There goes the faces, the Void Spirit going straight for the Phoenix, but not enough. Oh, there is a Nightmare that can be used on the Storm, and they are going to bring it up right away. Supernova trying to be done. Not enough. Supernova goes down. GG will be called right away, as that is going to be it. That's going to be Night Gamers Indonesia, led by Kaltazar. But the Juggernaut getting a Rampage on the second game, getting a lot of huge ultimates in the first game, carrying his game to victory, as well as carrying him towards the Rise of Legion Dota 2 July Grand Finals. What a fantastic, fantastic series. Very close matches, but this game just proved that Night Gamers Indonesia was just too strong for the Thai and Laotian side to overcome, and they are going to be content walking away with only $250 as the huge prize pool was won by Night Gamers ID. Congratulations to them once again, and thank you all for tuning in to the Rise of Legion Dota 2 July Dota 2 Finals. This tournament is represented by Beyond Godlike. For more information about other interesting tournaments from Lenovo or from Beyond Godlike, please visit facebook.com/beyondgodlike.net and legion.lenovo.com. My name is Zero, guys. Thank you all for watching. We're gonna be calling it a night, but we have more Rise of Legion tournaments happening after this. Stay tuned, guys. But for now, we are going to say goodbye to each other. Until then, guys, see you soon. My name is Zero, and good night.